Oi, blimey, would you look at that? It looks like an air chapter Tonikaku. And me apologizing for my horrendous Australian accent. I do apologize to you Australians, but could you give me an honest review of it? Personally, I did pretty bad because, I'm American. I don't know accents at all. But that doesn't matter right now. Today we're talking about Tonikaku Kawaii, chapter 158.2. Not even a full chapter, but hey, it got translated into English, so we should be grateful to the great gods of Tonikaku scans. Woo! Listen, if it takes you a whole month to complete literally a point 2 of a chapter, alright? Does that really show you're committed to the project? I mean, come on, people, mandate a manga, let's get it rolling. Please don't. I don't want that to happen. That was sarcasm. But let's just jump right into it. This chapter takes place literally right after the last one, 158.1. Long story short for that one, Tokiko is now officially dead. May she rest in peace. And Tsukasa-chan goes and, basically, gives her final goodbyes to her ashes, alright? And while there, she's about to ask Tokiko's ashes a question, but she almost starts crying, so she decides not to ask the question. And whatever. And goes off and, like I said, gives off, her sadness, all that fun stuff, right? And it's much later into the day to the point where it's night. Nasa and Tsukasa-chan go outside of their porch of their recently bought house, which is just, the back of the outhouse of the, the bathroom house, right? And they watermelon. Nasa asks, hey, why are we eating watermelon, at an occasion, right? And Tsukasa-chan explains that as a child, Tokiko really liked the watermelons that Tsukasa-chan grew, alright? So we also know, now we know that Tsukasa-chan apparently knows how to grow watermelons, so more plot to her, I guess. So, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, Chitose comes along, alright? If you don't remember her, long story short, she's the one girl that didn't really like Nasa at all, and, vowed to never let him, marry her, right? So basically, she's public enemy number 1, but, we're not going to talk about that for now, alright? And, Chitose, she comes along and, explains to Tsukasa-chan that, now that Tokiko is now officially dead, she will take Tokiko's place to, get Tsukasa-chan to the moon, because we are also told in those lore dumps that was chapter 158 and 158.1, that Tokiko, she found out that Tsukasa-chan, she's like, an immortal, alright? And she vowed, basically, she promised Tsukasa-chan to find a way to make her to the, take her to the moon, to find Kaguya, and all that fun jazz, alright? She couldn't do that because there's something called the economy, and she didn't live in America. I mean, she lived in America for a moment, but then she didn't. So she didn't get to the moon, but they got to the moon eventually. They only found moon rocks. Typical moon story stuff. So, you could say that Tokiko failed, but we're not here to talk about that, alright? Like I said, Chitose says that she's gonna promise to take Tsukasa-chan all the way up to the moon, finish what Tokiko wanted, and, all that fun stuff, alright? That triggers some flashbacks from Tsukasa-chan, about the whole, what I just said, Tokiko promising, right? And she actually starts to start breaking down and crying, alright? This is something that we've literally never seen before, except if you count 30 or 20 chapters ago, but hey! Was it 10? I believe it was 10 chapters ago where she was crying, alright? She's cried a couple times, but this one hit different, alright? Don't mind this. A Reddit user actually mentioned that I should probably add a break or two in the videos because I talk a little too much for my own good. So here you go, random Reddit user that I hopefully will put up your name on screen right now. Thank you for this recommendation. Now, let's get on to a regularly scheduled video. So while Tsukasa-chan is crying, she starts, she regrets, how she basically led Tokiko's life to, what she deems a waste, because, the full goal of, getting to the moon wasn't actually fully completed, but, and she feels horrendous about that, alright? We are also explaining what the question was, alright? The question that's been biting everyone, and the people that can read Japanese already know, which is simply, were you happy with me, alright? Tsukasa-chan, she was perfectly fine. She loved being with Tokiko, all of that fun stuff. She starts having flashbacks about her, growing up and all that fun stuff. Very emotional things like someone would when, you're grieving for your dead loved ones, right? I can't wait to be doing that when when like family members die or some shit. Luckily, they haven't died on me yet, so it should be fun, right? And we end off in this, I guess, this cute, drawing of Tsukasa-chan and Tokiko just, holding hands. Tokiko as a child, Tsukasa-chan, good old Tsukasa-chan, she's been 16 years for 1,400 times, alright? You know the whole thing, right? They're holding hands and they're having their, just like a final cute photo, alright? And that was basically chapter 158.2, alright? Was it worth the 1 month wait? No, alright? This was not worth the 1 month break. But what can you do except cause a revolution? I'm even joking, alright? Please don't get me in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble. Anyways, that has been chapter 158.2. I do hope that you enjoyed it. I personally did. Granted, the whole 1 month thing, I don't know. But I'll be back. Hopefully soon, alright, depending if Tonikaku Scans is willing to actually decide to translate more chapters. And, yeah, that I don't know how to end videos, so goodbye.